I'm Brian Carpenter, host of Fresh Air at 5, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, where each week we talk about a free piece or two of technology that you can use in your classroom. I'm your host, Shannon Martin. I'm a middle school teacher, technology and instructional coach for my district.
And I'm our producer and husband, Fuzz Martin, and we won the coin toss, and we're ready to kick off season 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
There are sound effects for season 6.
Season 6!
It's a little much.
Okay.
It's fun.
I thought it'd be fun.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the enthusiasm. It's good.
Thank you.
So we're starting season 6.
Yeah. Here we are.
Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Imagine.
And
Back
it's
in
August.
2018 or whenever, when we were sitting on our counter, and I'm like, we should do a podcast about all this stuff that you're talking about. And you're like, I don't know if we could do that. And then we just did it.
And here we are.
And
now we're like in a studio and we record and we're fancy.
Studio. We've got all this equipment that you didn't know that I was going to buy.
That too. So yeah. So we're here with season 6. I'm super excited. It's the start of another school year. This year, my group, we're starting earlier. So a lot of schools start in August, and we are also now starting in August. So for those of you that don't know, most schools in the state of Wisconsin usually start after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Not all, but a large portion of public schools do. We are starting before. So my first school day this year is August 29th. So for those of you,
so crazy for a lot of people around here aren't used to that.
Right. But it's great. But also it's great. Like I grew up in Illinois. And so in Illinois, we always started in August. So I am not fazed by starting in August, but it's funny for those that work around. Some of our parochial schools are starting already in August too.
Yeah.
So we are part of that group now. So we're starting a little early. So
you
those
get
of you
that in May, right?
Yes.
I mean, not to rush the year.
And we're done May 24th. So for those of you that are starting this week, I'm there with you.
Mm-hmm.
For those that don't start till next week, enjoy your last week and or your week of PD that is starting this week. Because we had our week of PD last week. I've been in all summer working and doing professional development for our staff, and I'm doing book clubs and things like that. So
and
it's
if you're
been
at a school
fun.
that has already been in school for weeks and weeks, well,
here's a few free tech tools to keep you going because you've already started a few weeks in.
Right.
So, so I'm pretty excited because this year my role has changed just slightly in my district. I'll be still teaching middle school, which I'm excited about. But I will also have more opportunities to coach staff. So my time will not be split 50-50 versus 4. It was kind of like
80-20?
Well,
75-25?
Like realistically, I was just doing 2 jobs. But
40-30.
It was kind of like 40-30 with an extra 30. And so now my
130.
My day is split. So I'm excited about that. I've been supporting staff at the start of the school year with just, the usual, setting up your classroom and making all the cutesy welcome back things and the presentations and the handouts and the open house things. And so I thought I'd start with those because they're super fun and they're at the start of the school year, you want to be creating all these cool things. So we have so many new teachers out there. We have so many openings out there still that these are kind of some fun ones just to help you get your classroom up and running and hopefully create some cool stuff. So that's what we're kind of looking back as quick tools for the setup of your classroom this school year.
Great.
Yeah. So the first site I'm going to talk about, we've talked about it many times before. So I'm bringing back an oldie.
You're probably familiar with it.
I'm sure you are. We've talked about it several episodes, including like episode 59 and a few others in between there. But what I would like for educators to know, because I don't know if this is common knowledge or maybe just in my area, it's more of a thing that more teachers are talking about. So we've all created Canva accounts at some point.
Yes.
We have Canva. I've talked about Canva. We love Canva. My kids use Canva. We talk about it a lot because you can create pretty much anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure if everyone realizes you don't have to use regular Canva as an educator. They have Canva for education,
Mm-hmm.
which allows you as an educator to have a pro account for free.
What?
And also you can link your student accounts in there.
Oh, so they can use the pro version as well?
Well, they can like connect their work to what you're doing
Okay.
and things like that. So you
Sure.
can invite your students. For new teachers that are out there, like a lot of people use Canva for resumes and posters and infographics and things like that.
Mhm.
But in Canva for education, you have to go through, it's a very fast little process. Sure, AI is involved. It takes about 5 seconds. You type in your information, you tell them what school you're from, you send them your
Probably
school
wants the
website.
school email address. No, not even that.
Mine linked to my regular email address that I use Canva in, but it does ask for your school website. So
Okay.
basically, it just pulls your information, I'm guessing, from like your school website
Yep.
and like what school you attend. And if there's anything out there that says like you are a teacher at the school. Anywho, it takes like 5 seconds to type in this information. And then you have a Canva for Education account.
Wow.
And it's awesome. It links. So if you already have a Canva account, it gives you access to all of your stuff you had before.
Mhm.
So you don't have to recreate anything. All of your stuff is saved from your previous Canva
Sure.
account.
You don't, have to redo it when you
Correct.
create it.
It just shifts you to an educator account.
Great.
And then your educator account, like it has templates that are specific for education. It has collaboration space, like classes can work together, like design together. It has all of like the premium images, fonts, and videos that you have access to for free. It has folders. You can manage your content and track progress with students and stuff like that. And then it integrates into Google Classroom and Remind and Microsoft Classroom.
Wow.
And then it's COPA compliant. So it's making sure that like kids' stuff isn't like out there.
Yeah.
So it does all these things for teachers. So if you already have a Canva account, shift yourself to a Canva for Education account. And if you don't have one, my suggestion is do that.
So how did the process go with changing over?
I did nothing. I have created my Canva account. And then it just, because.
So you went to canva.com/education?
Correct.
Okay.
So I went to canva.com/education and it was like, welcome
Yep.
to Canva for Educators. And then it just verifies that you're a teacher and then takes your other Canva stuff and just throws it into a teacher account and gives you everything. And you have the option of sharing with students right away, or it lets you like do your own thing and then you can choose to invite students later. So you don't have to do that with kids if you don't want to. If you want them to have their own thing and keep it separate, sweet. And then it has all kinds of like education specific templates. So it's got like educational presentations, educational videos, education infographics, classroom posters, Google Classroom headers. By the way, can't tell you how many of those I've created. So they're all going to be super cute this year. Like a worksheet creator, a lesson plan organizer, class schedule organizer, group work organizer, resume builder, classroom announcements, classroom newsletters, like all of these things that teachers need. And you have to usually pull from different places.
Yeah, or like create the size yourself and do all
and make sure that it's like, because they're educator and they have mind maps and flashcards. So they have all these like templates that are, and they're teacher friendly, which is always half the battle. Is I love Canva and I use it a lot, but I'm always like redoing everything to make sure it's like what I need it to be. And this just starts with like teacher friendly things to begin with.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Way to go, Canva.
I know.
Nice
It's
work.
really
Way
cool.
to-
And it's been around for a little while, but I think like so many people like, well, I already have a Canva account. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, which is kind of how I viewed it forever. Like, whatever. But no, really, if you're a teacher, you should change over to Canva EDU just because you get so many perks from having access to this. And it's really sweet.
Oh, and actually, now that you say that it allows you to use your own personal email address, it's actually good in case you change districts or something, so you can carry all that stuff with you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it links to, and I have 2 different Canva accounts, and I just happen to have my non-district one open when I was doing it, and then it linked everything in. So it works both ways.
Cool.
And it will take you literally like 30 seconds for it to switch over, and it goes, and you've been approved, as long as you have the things they need.
Yeah.
Which is just like your address, your school address and your school phone number. Or not your school address and your school website. I'm sorry. It'll just like, it's like, and you've been approved. Yay. Ding.
Cool.
So that's cool. And then I just did a bunch of Canva stuff in Canva after one of our adventures this summer. We visited Rocky Mountain National Park, and I was creating things for my national park unit from our pictures in Canva, and all of that's already there. So
nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, so switch her on over if you haven't done so already, which is not really switching over. It just gives you more access on your account. So check out Canva for Education.
Canva for Education.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Sparkles of
It sounds
sunshine.
like they've done either they hired a teacher or multiple
Or a
teachers to help them,
team of teachers.
or they've been doing some research, which
Yeah.
is really
Or just
nice.
listened to
Yeah.
like what teachers need. Because then too, like I've opened it up so like my district now has, because you can share within your district
Mhm.
and I can like click on classwork and then I can connect with your LMS, and that's how you connect it to Google Classroom, and you can create a class and invite members, and there's just so many more options. So those of you that have used Canva, feel free to check out Canva EDU because there's a lot to offer for free.
Wicked awesome.
Yay. So along with that, so we have open house nights and we have new student orientation and we have all kinds of things at the start of the year. So you have to push out a lot of information. And even though a lot of it will come through the district, as a teacher, like you're sharing newsletters, you need to know which kids are riding the bus home. You need to know which kids are taking breakfast. Like there's so many different things that if you can simplify any of these processes, to me, that's always what I try to do, and then use it from year to year. So one thing I've shifted in my classroom is going to QR codes for everything, because parents during all of these open house nights and things have their phones on them. They don't have, like, nobody wants to carry paper. They all get lost. Or I teach middle school. They go in the garbage, recycled, never make it home. They leave it on desks. But parents have their phones on them. So like I QR code lots of things in my classroom. Not too many because it's overwhelming. It's required by me to have a syllabus signed by parents. So instead of having the parents, I will send the paper home, but I have a QR code on it. So the parents could just scan the QR code on their phone, type in their student's name, type in that they've seen it, and we call it good. I've got the parent approval that they've like checked my syllabus, and I can share that with my office. I have a book checkout for my students want to check out books in my classroom.
QR code
Scan, check book out.
Yep. I would say if anything that the pandemic helped, it is QR codes and their use in the public.
Like I use them like open house night. You want information, like you have posters hung up for parents with information for clubs and organizations. They're not going to let you don't have paper capacity to make 12,000 copies of it. Like they just scan it. If kids interested in it, they got all the information. So just like QR codes, we use a lot at the start of the school year for open house night, gathering information and pushing out information. And I'm always looking for a fast QR code generator. And I've talked about some of them in the past. We've talked about QR code monkey. We've talked about like several different ones. The newest one I'm using is like super straightforward. It's called QR.io. So this is our second like highlight. QR.io. Literally drop in the URL. Woo! Not the QRL. URL. Drop it in. If you want to change text color, background, whatever, you can jazz it up a little bit if you want to. More power to you. School colors. You can theme it all. And then you can just download it as a PNG. And then you can track number of scans if you really want to. And you can create it all without having to log in. If you want to log in and sign up, you can. There's options to logo it if you have an account or you want to make a cute little logo. You have options for shapes and things like that. But then you can QR code, link, an email, a text, PDFs. I mean, videos, options. It's all there. So all you do is drop the link in and you have access to everything. But it's QR.io. Super fast. Get that on there so that we can share information with parents and families. And you're set for open house night and you're ready to go. If you're already in the school year, I've talked about it before. I use it for kids' projects and things like that. My students will explain it in like Bokaroo, and they can explain it. And I have their voiceover with a QR code, but it's a really fast creator for QR codes. We started doing feedback with our staff. So all the workshops this summer that I created, instead of having like, here's the survey that comes later on, I just had a QR code at my last slide and they filled in their feedback and got attendance right away at the end. So there's lots of them out there.
Audio instructions. You can put the school lunch menu.
You can, yeah. And that way kids have it too. Football schedule.
Google Forms.
Soccer schedule. Volleyball schedules. All of that.
Sign up for all those things.
Yeah.
Where to turn in your paperwork for all those things.
Yep.
Super cool.
So QR.io. It's fast. It's easy.
And it's free.
Oh,
that's why it's on the show.
Oh, yay.
It's free.
Yay. And our last one. So these, again, just things to help you at the start of the year. So I was laughing because our middle school staff is awesome. Like we have a fantastic staff. We have these bulletin boards in our hallway and we just, whoever feels like creating them, decorates them. We don't have Like, we don't have a sign like this teacher's in charge of this bulletin board for this month. Like, we just don't. It's whoever wants to put something up does.
Yep.
But we all struggle with writing the message on the boards.
Okay.
And while many of you out there have Crickets, and our school has a Cricket, and teachers have Crickets at home, we Cricket lots of things, but not the actual bulletin board letters that need to be done. So, for those of you that are cricketing bulletin boards or letters or door signs or cool t-shirts, if you go to FontSpace.com, they have Cricut fonts
Oh, cool.
that you can download and use for your Cricut. I know Cricut has its own, and there are lots of places to find Cricut fonts that are paid.
Yep.
FontSpace has free Cricut fonts, so you don't have to pay for them if you choose not to. But if you just go to FontSpace, FontSpace.com, and if you type in Cricut fonts, it comes up with this whole selection of Cricut fonts. And then you have the option to choose to download them, and it will download the fonts for you, and you have access to them, and you can see all kinds of extras. You can download them without having an account necessarily. You can join for free, and then you have access. But there's thousands of fonts on the site. So it's not just for Cricut use. You can definitely use them for all those cool different things you're designing and then putting up in QR codes for all of your use for the start of the school year. But they have Cricut specific. So you can pull up fonts for your Cricut. So you can put cool things on your bulletin boards and not just type them up in a Google Doc and print them and cut them out, because that's what I end up doing a lot of the time because I lose patience. If you're looking for some fun fonts, doing bulletin boards and decorations, FontSpace.com would be a great place to check out and look at all those cool different options you have for free fonts.
FontSpace is the place
FontSpace.
for your helpful Cricut fonts. Thank you.
Yes. So those are just a few things to get you started. We will officially start the first week of September. I mean, we are in season 6 now, but we do have Labor Day coming up.
We'll take Labor Day off.
We'll take Labor Day off and ease into the school year here. But I am so excited to continue with season 6 and offer all kinds of cool free tech tools for all of you educators out there.
I'm excited as well.
Well, good. I'm glad. Oh my goodness. Thanks for tuning in. This has been the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. If you ever have any questions, you can find me on the formerly known as Twitter. Is now X at SmartinWI. Or you can find me on Threads, also at SmartinWI. And if you want to get more information on the links to the technology discussed in this episode, you can visit smartandwi.com. If you'd like to support the show, please consider buying me a coffee or two. Visit buymeacoffee.com/smartandwi or visit smartandwi.com and click on that cute little purple coffee cup. Your donations help keep the show going. New episodes each week. Thanks for listening. Go educate and innovate.
The ideas and opinions expressed in this podcast and the Smart and WI website are those of the author, Shanna Martin, and not of her employer. Prior to using any of the technologies discussed on this podcast, please consult with your employer regulations. This podcast offers no guarantee that these tools will work for you as described, but we sure hope they do.